to your Voice in Power Hour on the My Voice in Power show for Unity Live Radio. Now it's time for the Your Voice in Power Hour, and the voice in power tonight is Alex, one of Reading's most popular photographers. Hello, Alex. How are you this evening?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good as well, thank you very much. So,
Good.
if you could tell us a bit about how you got started doing this amazing work that you do.
Photography, back in 2005, I probably got my first camera. My dad bought it for me for my birthday, and it was like one of those old school film cameras. So not like today, digital, like proper old school. Put it in the back and everything. And I probably didn't actually play with it properly other than with family until a year later.
Mm-hmm.
I met some friends and they like really encouraged me to do it. So I started kind of like blagging myself through this and saying to people, look, do you want to meet up for a photo shoot today? And then when I kind of like gone around all my friends, I would then put it out and say on Facebook maybe, and just say, does anyone want a photo shoot? I'm doing it for this cheap at the moment. And it kind of just like snowballed, yeah. One person after another, and then some people to this very day still come to me for photo shoots from then. So I've got some really, really loyal customers that I've worked with since like their families were so young. Do you know what I mean? I've seen like babies grow up. So, yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, that must be really, really, really nice. So you were saying that you had old school. So is that like in the dark room processing?
Okay, so I never processed it myself, but I would send it off and obviously get it done professionally.
Okay.
But no, I've never been in a dark room, but that's something that I would love to do.
Yeah, because I can imagine that whole experience of just being in there, you know, it's quiet, private space, and you're watching your life literally come to work like right before your eyes.
Yeah. I've got to make it happen. I think one day I'll definitely own my own little dark room.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, what's better than seeing your work come to life like within seconds?
Yeah.
Like, ooh, did it come out good? And then, yeah, I think it's more of a like an accomplished feeling than sending it off to get printed. Definitely.
Yeah. So is your work as fun as it sounds? Because, like, you know, you said at first it was friends and family, you meet up. Yeah. Is it like that now when you've got, like, clients?
Oh, yeah. To this very day, I still love it as much. I can't lie, I definitely had dips throughout the years. Obviously, it's been a long, long time. So you're going to have days where you're like, I'm a bit fed up, or I can't do this anymore, I'm not making enough money. But it literally comes around like full circle again, and it's what I love, and that hasn't changed. And out of all the things I've loved in my life, or liked, or had an interest in, this is the only thing that's like stuck with me.
Okay.
I think I've been quite fickle with everything else. It's like, I'm really into this at the moment, and then it will just go. But this is like the one thing I could say, yeah, I've been doing this, and I will keep doing it.
But the whole dynamics of it must vary from like working with like different people. So even though you're always taking pictures, it's not always the same experience because you must have different experiences with different people.
That's right. No day is the same. And even if I shoot with the same person, obviously they don't come to me every week. They could come like once a year. It's never ever the same. And people come to me for so many different things. Obviously from families, kids, those kind of portraits to models, corporate stuff. I have kind of put my hat away for weddings, but I used to do weddings. Nightclubs, events, gigs. So yeah, it's so wide and varied, and everybody's got a different need for what they want me for. So yeah.
So what do you get out of it?
With the family stuff, I just can't stress enough how I want people to save their memories. I don't think some people understand how precious family photos are. Until you lose someone, then you're like, I wish I should have done that. And I don't want anyone to have that kind of regret. I want someone to hold that and keep that forever.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice memory to see what you were like at that time. I mean, when I get to like, God willing, obviously, when I get to like 80, 90 years old, I want to look back and think, that looks all right, you know, like those
yeah.
kind of things as well.
Yeah.
And like show my grandchildren and things like that. So it's really, really important, I think. There's no one who should not be having a family portrait or a picture of them in their heyday, or there's always a need to have a photo.
Yeah.
So yeah. With family, it's definitely that. But like people who come to me for their business, obviously they come to me with an idea of what they want to look like.
Yeah.
And if I can do that or better, like there's so much gratitude in that, and they're always so just happy and thankful. So bringing people's dreams into reality is like, oh, you've really captured how I wanted to be captured. That's just priceless to me. So,
yeah. Yeah. So I believe that every picture tells a story. And I think in some cases, some pictures, every time, even if you're looking at the same one again, it can tell you something different. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. That's like reading a book. It's like you could read it 100 times but take something different from it each time, or something new
you
didn't like pick up on before. So yeah, you might, I don't know, you might, if it's a family picture, you might think, oh, he's got my nose and I didn't notice that before. But it's like something small like that. So yeah.
So you said your dad bought you your first camera. Is your dad a photographer as well?
He's not. My uncle is, so his brother. He's been a photographer for a long time, and my brother is into film.
Okay.
He was a photographer at one point, but he's into film. So like, it's definitely in the family. I haven't gone to uni or college to do this, so it's literally just in my blood. Oh, actually, their dad, so my granddad, I only met him when I was very, very little. He was into photography as well. So it's kind of like gone through the men, but somehow it ended up in me as well. So I'm happy that it's done that.
It must be a sign of your uniqueness.
Yeah. And I just hope I pass it on to my son as well.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So have you been able to see any of the pictures that your granddad has captured?
No, I've just got a picture of him with the camera. It's proper old school. It's like in like a sepia tone. I'll have to show you one day, but I can't say that I look like him. I don't think I do look like him, but I just like, he's so in the zone.
Yeah.
And I just love the picture. Yeah. And that's it. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. Like, if I didn't have that photo, I wouldn't really know he was into photography, for one.
Yeah.
And just seeing how like comfortable he looks in it as well, I just know it's in the blood.
Yeah, you can see you're glowing as well, like when you talk about it. So, like, I mean, every interview I've had, I've mentioned mental health somewhere along the lines. You know, that's my thing. Have it myself. So, do you find like that if you're ever like at a low point or whatever, like doing this helps you?
Majorly. I mean, if I give an example through lockdown, the first one, if I wasn't doing photography, even if it was just for like a family or a friend, I could definitely see myself going down a slippery slope into some kind of depression, 100%. And I think a lot of creatives will resonate with that, because it's like a part of your brain that you're not using, it's a part of your body that you're not using, and it's like it will just go to sleep. And if that part of you is not awake, what is kind of left? Like your passion, if your passion is asleep, there's there's not a lot left. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I really, really needed that, and I made sure that I carried on all through lockdown. And I have to going forward. So yeah, if I'm not doing that, I do really suffer. And even on days when, because I suffer with migraines, as you know, even on days when I'm kind of coming out of that and I feel terrible still, somehow once I'm in the photo shoot, I do feel better.
Yeah.
It's like a miraculous kind of better as well. It's like 1 minute I was feeling like death and I need to go home, and then I'm just like really in it.
I wonder if it's almost like taking yourself out of like normal mode, so to speak, and then putting yourself into photography mode. So now you're this photography person. Everything else that's there is like kind of temporarily disappeared. Like
no, yeah. I mean, it could have something to do with like change of scenery and change of mind, because obviously you're only thinking about the pain before then. But I think there's something more to it. It must be like a chemical type thing. I honestly don't know, but I know it's mad when it does happen, and I know that's why I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you didn't have a shoot to do for a person, would you still go out with your camera when you feel like that?
That's good. So I would try and go for a walk. Definitely, I would go in the woods with my son or on my own, and just picture something nice out there, whether it's the tree or the scenery. But it doesn't beat interacting with someone.
Yeah.
I've always loved working with people, so that will always be my number one, I think.
So do you think obviously you're there to take the pictures, obviously you interact with the person you're working with, so like you must get to hear about why they want the photo, what they're doing it for, and
I can definitely say I've worked with more women that are very vocal about why they're doing it. I don't think there's been many men that have come to me and said I feel like this and I want to portray this. I can only think of like 2 people that have done that, which I thought were very brave, and I wanted to do the shoot with them, but they didn't follow through
for
one reason or another. Yeah. The women, obviously it's a lot different because I'm a woman, and they can kind of resonate with me. We can talk about our fears, our feelings, our hang-ups and stuff like that. And then I can work with those things and not hide them, but we work on the things that you do love, and we show off the things that you do love, and it kind of like overrides anything that you don't love.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy working with women in that respect, because afterwards they're just like, wow, and it completely changes their mindset going forward, and they can just like they can come into a shoot with their head kind of like down a little bit, thinking, I'm going to look like this after this, and walk out with their like shoulders back and their head up and like, I look alright.
Yeah.
I look good. So that's amazing when that happens.
Cool. So obviously, like you obviously have like client confidentiality, but do you think that you would be able to like compile a book full of stories to go with the pictures that you take of each person that you take pictures of?
That would be amazing, yeah. I've never thought about doing that. Have I got enough people to do that with? I probably have. I mean, 17 years, isn't it? It's like, I could do that. You're right, that's an idea.
Yeah, amazing. So we talked about your photography and how it helps you with your mental health. Do you think it helps your clients as well? I know you said it earlier about them, how they feel like in that moment, but does anyone stay in touch with you for you to know if that's long lasting or?
I do, and I definitely think it does, because once you see yourself in a different light, and you're just like in awe about it, you kind of not forget the old version of you, but you can look this way, and you can feel this way, and it feels good. So you kind of want to like stay there.
Yeah.
And some women come back because it's like they need a little top up.
Yeah.
Or like their dress sense has changed, or their hairstyle has changed, and they want to like just document that kind of thing. So you go on the journey with them.
Yeah.
So I love that. It's like a continued relationship, and yeah, I can only see them like once a year again, like I say, but it's so nice to build that with someone, knowing where they come from.
Yeah.
And know where they are now, and it's like we've both like helped each other.
Mm-hmm.
You've helped me, I've helped you, and we've produced this, and now you can walk out into the world feeling good about yourself on a daily, and I can like just feel good because I've helped in that process, I guess. Yeah.
Cool. So, well, you talked about your granddad, so he must be some sort of an inspiration to you. Is there anyone else who inspires you when it comes to photography?
I tend not to have like an idol or somebody that I kind of like base myself or my style on. Mm-hmm. Music videos inspire me, or they have done over the years, and I take a lot of inspiration from people on Instagram, other photographers that I follow. But I'm very wary of not taking somebody's idea. So if I like something, I will just take an element of it, maybe. Yeah. And then completely make it my own, because I don't like to copy anyone's work, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. There's not really anyone else. Okay.
So has your work ever been like in a gallery or anything like that?
Hasn't been in a gallery. No, it hasn't been in a gallery, but I'd love to do my own exhibition, and in the very near future. Yeah.
Oh, plans, manifestations. Cool.
Yes, come on.
So where can we find you then?
Okay, so over the years I've had many websites. I don't find that they work, so we're back to Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. So on Instagram it's at Sunshine Creative Soul. Facebook it's Alex Sunshine Soul Douglas. And yeah, you can just message me on either of those. But most of my work, my whole portfolio is on Instagram. Okay,
so we go on your Instagram page and we just see everything that you've done.
Literally, yeah. There's videos on there, there's reels, and if you want to see any more of some kind of particular shoot that you might want, then just drop me a message and I can send you some more examples.
Lovely. Because obviously no one can see you, this is radio, so are you able to probably like describe your favourite shoot?
My favourite shoot?
Yeah.
What, that I've done?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, that's impossible. I did one with my friend Melissa last year in a field in like an African wrap dress. Mm-hmm. I would call it that. I think, that when we did that shoot, it had such a feeling and aura around it that we both couldn't really describe, and the photos just came out amazing, and they were the first ones that I've actually sold to the public.
I was going to say, I think I've seen that.
That was a moment. That was a real big moment.
I feel like you've captured that in that photo as well, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, it brings a feeling when you look at it. Not one that I can describe, but yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I just felt like it was a turning point as well for me in my career. And I'd been in the studio for so long in lockdown, working inside, and that was the first shoot I'd done outside for a long, 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 long time. So I felt a bit out of my depth. I don't know why, but there's a big difference between taking photos in a studio and outside.
Okay.
You've got to completely change your settings, and you've got to kind of what's the word I'm looking like? Compensate for the light, whatever it is on that day. So when I took those, I was like, no, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
So it was like a seal of approval for myself.
Yeah.
That I can do studio and outside capably.
How did that feel? Yeah.
Yeah, I did cry when I was editing them.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was definitely a moment of self-realisation that, I was capable, and I'm capable of doing more than I kind of allow myself to sometimes.
So, do you do more outside shoots now?
Yeah, so after that shoot, I was just outside all the time. And now it's gone back the other way now. You can't get me back in the studio, really. So I think it's just always going to be like that. I'm going to go through phases, but I love both. I can't pick which one I love more.
Yeah.
They're both good in their own individual way.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree. I mean, I've done some work with you myself. One for a book promotion and another one for a book cover. One inside, one outside, and they do completely capture so many different things. And I think the one that I did with you inside, I feel that captured where I was at the time. I don't know if you agree from our conversations or whatever. And the outside ones
did as well.
Yeah, I think
literally, it was like you come in, like the book. You're releasing the book, but like it was like you were releasing a lot as well. So like being outside just kind of made sense.
Yeah. So back to your favourite shoot. What was that inspired by? Or did that come from the client?
No, it was my idea. It was just very loose. Like the idea I had was quite loose. I wanted to do it outside in a field, very raw, very very natural, very it was just an African theme. So she said, I've got this kind of like wraparound throw thing. She said, I'm just gonna bring it. It might not work. And like she tied it around her, and we like used some like crocodile clips to like hold it at the back.
Yeah.
And it just looked so good. And the way the field was, this field changes so like regularly that I go to. The way it was, it just fitted the look so much. And there was some corn, and she would like pull. I can't really explain it. It wasn't corn. It was something like that. But she would pull them off. They'd come out like little balls in her hand, and then I said, okay, so after 3, just like throw them to the side. And obviously I captured them like in the air, and every single shot was just like I didn't even know how it was happening.
Yeah.
It was just flowing. Like I didn't really know what I was doing. She didn't really know. We were just being led to do it, and yeah, the results just like speak for itself. I just love them. I want them to be somewhere famous. To be honest, like I just want them somewhere special.
Yeah. So,
I don't know where. They haven't met the right eyes yet. Someone's gonna see them and like recognise what they are, but they haven't yet.
All good things in good time.
Yeah.
So you said that you have a son. How old is your son?
He'll be 12 this month.
Lovely. And you would like him to hopefully follow in the photography footsteps of the family. So does he already have an interest in photography, or?
He's come on a lot of shoots with me and did some behind the scenes with my older camera. And he's just got a natural flair for it without even trying. So I am going to utilise that and concentrate that. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to have it as a skill.
Yeah.
He's very creative at drawing. So that is his like forte. But yeah, I'm going to make sure he can do this as well, because when he gets to 16, he's 100% coming to work with me.
Yeah.
So
a lovely family business.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to branch out a little bit more then, do you think? Like doing more?
Yeah, I would like to take on a couple of apprentices over the next few years and grow some people up. I love to work with young people, so if there's anybody out there who, I don't know, like 15, 16, 17 years old, got an interest for photography and want to explore that, I'd love to work with some people going forward.
Great. So if for some reason you had to stop doing photography, what do you think you would do instead?
Good question. Some sort of, well, it would be two things. Some sort of counselling for people, or something in beauty. So massage or something in that area.
Okay. But you're saying counselling, but your job probably entails a bit of counselling along the way. If women are coming to you discussing their issues and why they want the photo shoot, and
well, that's why I do what I do. it's all intertwined, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the things that I like. But yeah, it would be something like, I don't know, facials, massage, or some kind of counselling, yeah.
So is that a skill that you'd have to retrain for, or is it a skill that you already have?
Yeah, definitely. And I know both those things, the counselling especially, as you know, probably takes a long, long time. Yeah.
Yeah. All the best jobs are the hardest ones to get.
Wow.
And I always feel like they make you jump through so many hoops, but actually, if it's someone's natural ability to do, so it's very disheartening when that's in you and you can't just get out there to do it.
I agree, because I think you would be kind of like ready to go yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that. Thank you. So I do feel like that. So to know as well, like to have people that I speak to and know that they could do with that support and they could do with that, like to know that I could be out there helping people like that. It's mad.
Yeah, they're actually robbing the world of a perfectly good counsellor, and probably better than a lot out there, because I get that they have to be. There's a lot of red tape, isn't there? There's a lot of things that you can't say, and a lot of the time you can't really. Like me and you are both empaths, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really be that kind of empath when you're counselling someone, can you? You've got to kind of put up this little barrier.
Yeah.
One, so like someone doesn't connect to you too much, so they can't rely on you. And then two, you've got to be professional, and you can't be like, and kind of getting upset with them, can you? So there's a lot going on.
Which is not difficult for me to not get upset with people. You know what I'm like when it comes to emotions. But to be fair, it does normally come out after. And actually that would be interesting to see if you had a camera around me, what you would capture in moments after the event, I suppose.
Whether it would trigger you mean?
Yeah. Have you ever done that? Have you ever documented someone? Have you ever done like a day in a life with someone and just followed them, like, and just taken pictures of them, like, throughout the day?
Earlier in my career I did, but I'd love to do that again now. Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah. What, are you up for that?
I think I am, you know.
We should do it.
Let's talk a bit more about that after the show.
After the show.
Yeah. Okay, so, deal. What do you do when you're not taking pictures?
Okay, good question. Well, I mentioned earlier I like walks, so I go for a lot of walks, whether it's with someone or on my own. I do prefer to go on my own, if I'm honest, but I do get told off by a lot of people that it's dangerous and a woman shouldn't be going on a walk on her own, which I totally understand. And as much as I agree, I don't want to let it be a problem, so I kind of do it anyway.
Yeah, because there comes a point as well, like you're always waiting on someone to do something, and sometimes that
Right,
means
exactly.
never getting anything done. So
Hmm.
why have you got to sit and be unhappy just because no one's free when you're free?
Right. And on top of that, I don't particularly want to go on a walk and have a chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to be quiet, taking it. Well, I used to only go out with my headphones on, but now I like to just take in the birds and the scenery.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't want to be talking over that. We can go for coffee if you want to have a chat.
Yeah.
I'd rather just keep that as an escape. Yeah,
Makes
quiet
sense.
escape for the mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And the
makes
mouth. Like, sometimes, don't you feel like your mouth is just gets tired
sense. Yeah.
sometimes? So
Yeah.
I just don't have to worry about anything. Don't have to worry about what I'm saying or thinking. Just be. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for quiet moments, and it's really funny that that is coming out of my mouth because I never used to like silence. I always
Oh
had to fill
really?
silence with noise. I'm the person who always has to say something, or I have to laugh, or
Mm-hmm.
something has to happen, or I have to put on a music in the background. Something has to be
Mm.
going on, and that obviously
Mm.
throughout my own healing journey as time's gone on, I've realised that actually it's because I'm trying to drown out the noise
Cool.
that's in my head, the uncomfortableness, because
Mm-hmm.
most of my trauma in the end happened during silent moments. So it's funny how it's all
Mm-hmm.
connected. But now I can really appreciate the silence. And there's a lot to
Mm-hmm.
be said for being able to sit with somebody in silence
Yes.
without you feeling like it's a problem. It's a
It's the
connection
best
on a
thing
whole different
ever.
level. Yeah.
Literally. Literally. I love that. Like friends that you can like. My best friend, she can come and have a nap here, and it's
Mm.
just fine. Like no one, like we can actually just meet up for a nap. No,
Yeah.
like those kind of no awkwardness. That's what it's all about. And it's funny you say about you needed the noise to like kind of drown stuff out. For me, it's like completely the other way around. The noise I can't deal with,
Mm-hmm.
so it becomes overpowering, and I can't focus, and kind of feels like you're in a panic attack.
Yeah.
So like too much is going on, you can't focus on one thing. Um, it's kind of like when you're at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much like noise coming from all directions. So yeah.
Yeah, and I get that side of things as well because I have moments where it's just like like when you see it on movies and everyone's like, "Shut up, just shut up." Like sometimes I feel like I could actually like do. I never do, but like it does feel like it gets you to like that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm much. I've always been like that from young. I like to be quiet.
So, how did you cope when you was doing photography in the nightclubs?
Good question. I was definitely more outgoing then than
Mhm.
I am now. I loved the music. I hated the lights.
Mhm.
Like the lights would really trigger me. And I hate drunk people. Sorry, but I hate drunk
Yeah.
people.
So you were in the best place.
I hate drunk people. So yeah, there's me sober with a camera, people
Mm.
bumping into me, knocking their drinks over my camera. Like it really was hard work. I tell you, it was hard work. And then there's people that stand there and they want like 100 photos, and I'm like, I'm just here for everybody. Like this
Yeah.
isn't a personal photo shoot. um, so I'm actually glad I did that early in my career, and I learned so much with that job, so much, and I went to so many different clubs. So it's nothing that I regret, but it taught me a lot, and it taught me a lot about myself, what I do and I don't like.
Yeah.
And
So you wouldn't do it again?
No, it toughened me up definitely. But yeah, no, I would not do that again. No.
So if someone said to you, right, Alex, you can pick absolutely anyone in the world you know or don't know, is famous, whatever, who would you pick to take a photograph of?
Somebody asked me this before and I had an answer, but now I haven't. Let me have a quick think. I'd probably pick Pastor Mike from Transformation Church, because he's just been a life-changing person. Yeah, life-changing person in my life. He's based in America, and I first tuned into him in 2019. And he's just got a way of like speaking to the youth about faith and about Christianity, and I don't think anyone else could have like broke it down enough for me for it to resonate, things like that. So I just really respect how he speaks to people and kind of how he conducts himself. He's a big family man, and yeah, I just really rate him. He's wrote some really good books. So I'd love to fly out there one day, or him over here one day, and get a few snaps. Yeah.
Cool. So you kind of added a place in there, but obviously that's because that's where he lives. But if there was any scenery anywhere in the world that you could go and take pictures, where would you choose?
There's quite a few places. I'd love to go to LA.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go to Brooklyn. New York in the winter, like Home Alone style. I'd love to go at Christmas time.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be so. I was actually speaking to someone today, and I didn't really realise that I had an urge to go, but I'd love to go to Africa to do some photos.
Okay.
I think that would be amazing, and a nice little add to my portfolio. I think it would just fit in nicely. So
what would you want to capture in these places? Like you said, like in New York, it would be like Home Alone style in the winter and stuff like that.
Yeah. So all the American ones, you're probably not aware, but like in America, there's a completely different light to there is here.
Okay.
That's why like all their videos, their music videos, for instance, look so different. Mm-hmm. So like their sunsets and their sunrises are going to look different to ours here, and there's just a certain light. As a photographer, I just want to be there.
Yeah.
And there's obviously some really iconic places that I can't name right now, but they just stand out for music artists and music videos that I would just love to go and just take a photo of, even of myself there.
Yeah.
Or somebody that I know in there. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you listen to a lot of music then?
I would say that I listen to more old music. When I say old, I just mean older music.
Yeah.
I'm not really into what's out at the moment. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's just my age. I don't know, but I'm definitely a 90s baby. 90s R&B, 90s soul, hip hop, neo soul, and I love gospel as well.
Lovely. So, what moments or scenery would you be wanting to capture in Africa? I guess actually also it would be like bringing the photo you were talking about earlier. It'd be like bringing that to life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think for me, mostly it will just be, there would be a photo opportunity everywhere. I feel.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I just like step off the plane, I think I just love the culture. I love the clothes. Love the food. I would just want to capture like all of that.
Yeah.
I would just be asking anyone like,
can I take a picture, please?
Can I take a photo? I think that's where I would really, because I haven't explored street photography.
Okay.
And that's quite a big thing for a photographer to do. It's like you're either able to talk to strangers and ask them, can I take a photo, or you're not. And at the moment, I don't really feel like I could do that. I feel like it's an invasion.
Do you think you could do that, though, if you were not in your hometown? If you went somewhere else, do you think that might be a bit easier to do?
I've played with that idea in my head before about going to London and doing it, and then I talked myself out of it. So I wanted to go to the London Bridge and just like offer a photograph to like couples that come past that are there anyway, wanting to take a photo, and I would just offer it. But I'm still here, like 2 years later, thinking I still need to do that.
So, have you thought about any steps that you could take towards doing that?
Like, getting on the
plane. I don't mean it like that, but maybe go somewhere small, like a nice village or something somewhere, and just work your way up like that.
Do you know what? I think it's actually worse going to a smaller place.
Oh.
It's kind of like the same thing. Like, go to a disco and there's loads of people on the dance floor. It's easier to dance, but you go there and there's like no one there or like one person. You don't want to go. You don't want to go in and like be that person. You know.
I'd have to argue that.
Yeah. Okay, so you can't resonate with that one.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So I'd rather go to London than go to a quiet place, to be honest. But you're right, I wouldn't want to do it in my hometown.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
So with all this fantastic work that you're doing, can I ask why it is you don't do weddings?
Yeah, there's quite a few reasons. Mainly, it's very stressful. I can't lie. A standard wedding is normally 7-8 hours.
Wow.
And it's like a 7-8 hours that you would do at a 9 to 5. It's like full on. You don't ever want to miss a moment, and you can't replay that moment. So like when they're at the altar, you can't. Oh, can you just put that ring on again? You can't press pause. You can't stage a photo. You can't get the lighting how you want it, because most churches are dark, and there's just so many like negatives in my view. For me personally as a photographer, even after the day, there's like a week of editing. So it's like it's full on. And although it's so rewarding and the money is good, for me personally, as a highly stressed person, I don't like to add to my stress if I can help it.
Yeah.
So
that does sound like a lot of it sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's the word, responsibility.
Yeah. So lastly, do you have any tips for anyone who would like to get into photography?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to go the way that I went and not go to college or uni to do it, I would find a genre that you kind of have a passion or a liking for, whether it be fashion, family, babies, food, product, whatever. Find what you actually like taking photos of first, and then home in on that. So like if it's babies, then start practicing with families that you know, and get some good props in, and just start putting the word out there. But it depends what genre you're going into. But babies will require a lot of practice before you can like kind of put your name out there.
Yeah.
Other stuff, you can ask for models like anywhere on Facebook, Instagram. Just say I'm looking for some models, that anyone that's free this afternoon. I just want to try and have some photos at the park or whatever. People feel free to message me if you want advice. And like I said before, if anybody young out there who wants to work with me, just get in touch as well. But I've offered lessons before for young people who want to get into photography, and that's something I'd like to do again going forward.
Okay.
So I would say look for somebody who's offering some kind of like beginner course online, and join like forums online as well for like new beginner photographers on Facebook. You can like put photos that you've taken, put them in a group, and get like critiqued on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you remind us all where we can find you again?
Yeah, Instagram at Sunshine Creative Soul, and Facebook, Alex Sunshine Soul Douglas.
Lovely. Thank you for coming on tonight's show. It was lovely speaking to you.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. If you would like your voice to be heard on the Your Voice in Power Hour, then why not get in touch with me at myvoiceinpower@outlook.com.